Hello guys and gals, today I got 5 more Legendary Random Enchants to check out, to a total of 13 out of the new Legendary Random Enchants that landed on Area 51, and man, I have spent a huge amount of time to test these bad and good boys and give you some info on how they work or if they are good enough for you to bother using them. You know the drill, staying on the damage, doing mythics, spagging raids, to check out how they fare on bosses and stuff. Dummy is a good entry point, but fights are not still, and you need to move around a lot, you know that, and some bosses have different weaknesses, so you need to test a lot. By the way, help a guy out guys and subscribe. It seems that most of my viewers do not subscribe, like 90% of them, so if you think my content is good, just give me a like and subscribe. Now, after this huge intro, let's get to the first, and man, I got a story for you. Do you remember the old videos that I was doing about the intellect tag and how it was a thing, and then they nerfed it? Do you? Well, now they've given us an intellect tag, that's for sure, and they even gave us a stance for spell power tanks. I'm talking about Righteous Fury, of course. I will get into that point in a little bit. So, Templar of the Flame is a new fire paladin and it's a spell power tank, and God bless you, Paladin. 8% damage reduction buff, yes please. Spamming flame strike, even more yes please. And doing fire damage on your shield, man, I love it, I gotta say that. Now, while having Righteous Fury, you can combo this with Divinity Talent, Touched by Light, so you can heal yourself. That reminds me of a little bit of old retail Paladin. That was the niche of the Paladin, that he can heal himself. And as you see, Righteous Fury scales from stamina, so you can always have stamina on your tank gear, and Sith of Light gives you even more healing, so you become like a self-healing tank. So how does it work? You just start with Judgment of Wisdom, and then you get the survivability buff, the 8% damage reduction, and you can cast Flame Strike instantly, and then you can use your Dragon's Breath and do another Flame Strike, or you can go into Consecration. You see, you have a lot of AoE threat, and you also have range, because you can use casted rage abilities. Your spell power should be a lot, so they hit hard. And you see, like the Fireball, now I'm pulling with Fireball, and then I can cast my Consecration for the AoE threat. I can go into my Devastate or go into Flame Strike. Judgment of Wisdom is very fast, so you can pretty much always have the 8% damage reduction buff. And as you see, I have a lot of AoE threat. It's not like a huge part of the game now, so your single target threat should be okay, and I can just spam defensive abilities or even heal myself now, because I have already casted the Flame Strike and the Consecration. Now, if you like this build, you can just check it out on the build finder. As always, type my name and you will find it. I would recommend this for veteran players and not for new tanks, because I have too many things going on, or you can just take some talents and get some more survivability talents. Now on to Thunderslam. There are some builds that you're just bad at them. Okay, this Legendary is good, it's fun, I really like it, but I just suck at it. I don't know, I had the gear, I had the specs, I had the rotation good, I just couldn't make it work, guys. It's a really good AoE talent, it's really huge actually, probably one of the best, but I couldn't make it work as a single target DPS. I don't know what was the problem. I had the gear, I had the rotation, I had probably the talents correctly, but I suck at it. The pros for this Legendary is that the rotation is really easy. It's very fun because you mix warrior abilities with Shaman, that's always fun. You can be literally a lightning warrior or a thunder warrior, whatever you choose. And this AoE is just huge, with chain lightning and thunderclap and slam doing a little bit more of a AoE damage. Of course, you do need strength gear on this spec. I definitely recommend this. It's a really good legendary, probably one of the most damaging AoE legendaries on the game. I have a little bit of help for you guys. I've got a build on it. You can check it out and see if it works for you. Probably needs some tweaking, but just a starting point. Now to the good stuff. White Walker will be my main DPS spec. It's just the amount of fun and good that I want. It has a really good balance of single target DPS and AoE DPS. So guys, let's talk about the White Walker. As you can see on the description, it's combining rogue abilities with Frost Mage. You just spam Sinister Strike and Eviscerate and you trigger Ice Lances, and you can make your Cone of Cold into a melee ability and use as a finishing move. As you can see on the dummy, it does really well on AoE, almost 10k, not almost 10k, it's actually around 10k DPS, that's pretty good. My problem with this spec, as shown in the footage, is that you need a little bit of time to actually do the AoE. As you see, I'm losing now on the AoE, but as the time goes, I do a lot more AoE and I become first on the DPS meter. It should be better for Mythic Plus, but Mythics you can use it too. On this AoE pool that I already have the buff, as you can see, check out the AoE, it's just really good. I didn't lose 3 to 4 seconds to actually go to my AoE. I just started AoEing this fucker and it's really good. It's easily 12k DPS even when I was feared. The damage is good. I used also the flame totem and the AoE just skyrocketed. Now I can hear you say, Mag, how does it fare on bosses? Okay, it does pretty good. Actually, this is a boss fight that's not good for this spec. You see, I get feared a lot. It's not good for melees, but I am still first DPS. I battle with the second DPS because of the fears, but it's still good. Now, on this fight, should be a lot better due to the AoE at the start of the fight with the ads. Cone of Cold helps a lot on the situations. See what happens. I'm pulling 10k at the start of the fight, really good DPS, I have DPS the other guys by a lot. I need to move on the consecration, I can still keep up my good DPS, so this spec is good for fights that needs a lot of mobility. Your DPS doesn't drop a lot, and as you continue the fight, you see I'm dropping by a little bit. I'm around 8 to 8.5k, and I think it ends at 8.5. That's a really nice DPS. Now you should be wondering, hey, can I raid with this spec? Hell yeah, you can. Just check this out. I'm doing almost twice the DPS of the other guys in a fight that has a lot of mobility and a lot of AoE. Now, let's check it out on the Void River. I know it's a very stationary fight and you can test your DPS. Look my DPS, 9k to 9.3, pretty nice DPS. You can raid pretty close to 10k, that's a nice DPS for this kind of raids. So you can definitely raid with this spec. Just a fast disclaimer, I'm not using my own spec, I'm using Legendary spec. And D.O.T.s, please don't nerf this spec, man. I finally found the DPS spec that I love. I do believe that Knight of the Eclipse is a better single target DPS and Lucifer too, but this combines AoE and a little bit more fun, and it's not complex at all. Now on to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Shredder. Nah, I'm just kidding. Spell Shredder. Okay, this is a weird one. I really like the idea. I really like the idea of combining warrior abilities with the elements. You can go Frostbolt, Firebolt, or Lightning Bolt, as you can see. Okay, my problem with this spec is that it felt low DPS due mainly to managing a lot of dots. For max DPS you could probably want to go all spells, Frostbolt, Firebolt and Lightning Bolt, to get the rend on all elements, so you can have even more DPS, but it's just hard. If you decide to go just one or two, your DPS is gonna be a lot lower. So I don't know, it just felt low DPS for a legendary random enchant, or extremely too much trouble to bother on it. Also, it seems that this was designed more of a PvE, but there are just better PvE legendaries for now. I really don't want to bash on this legendary. It's fun, you can try it on your own, but I think you're gonna have a little bit too much trouble. Also, bad thing that about the spec is that you need strength gear, and strength gear is kinda hard to find. Anyways, that's my thought on this legendary random enchant. Fun, but not too good, and a little bit more complex than it should be. Now on to the last legendary random enchant for today. Elemental Destruction is a fun one. Have to give props to the design team. I always wanted to play a caster that uses the combo points from the rogue class. It sounded very fun, and Ascension just delivered to us again. Thanks D.O.T.s, thanks guys, thanks Paladin. Now, what's good about it? It has pretty okay single target DPS. I think that it's lacking a little bit on the AoE damage. How does it work? You just spam energy bolt, that's the lightning bolt transform into a firestorm combo generating ability. You can use Immolate to get buffs with flame shock, and then you can use your conflagrate great as a combo spender. The weird thing that I found out was that you shouldn't cast conflagrate a lot, because you can use your 10 stacks to 100% more damage on Immolate, so you can have like 2 Immolates on the target. That's a lot of DPS, and most of the DPS comes from that. Thanks to the guy that told me on the server, because I had a lot of trouble on the dummy at the start. Now, another weird thing is that Energy Ball doesn't stack with Lightning Bolt talents, so you kind of miss a lot of good talents there. It's a very complicated legendary random enchant, I think. Yes, it's fun, yes, it's good on single target DPS. You need to try it a lot to be good at it. And one last thing, D.O.T. specs do need a lot of time to set up, so in some fights you will be needing time to actually go to the DPS. I think if you go to early combo spender with your conflagrate, you will have a little bit better burst DPS at least, but you will not reach your full potential. I think this is a legendary random enchant that is made for PvE. It's definitely good on boss fights, but the trade-off is that you need a little bit time. It's hella fun, guys. I really enjoyed when I played it. I do recommend this legendary random enchant. Maybe a little bit more on raids, not as much on mythics and mythic plus, but if you like it, you can work something out. Thanks for watching, guys. Please write on the comments anything you have to say to me, or if you think that I have omitted something, or just your thoughts on my review on the legendary random enchants, or anything you have to add on them. And I guess I'll see you on the next one.